So, after the video yesterday, talking, yesterday, I don't know what part of the world you're in. It could have been today, it could have been yesterday, talking about Skylar Diggins-Smith's beef with the Seattle Storm, with the Phoenix Mercury. She obviously plays for the Seattle Storm right now. And it is safe to say the winner of that beef right now is Skylar Diggins-Smith, who is now on one of the best teams in the WNBA. And the Phoenix Mercury suck. Like, the Phoenix Mercury, I'm not joking, they are almost in that category of Sparks, Fever, and Mystics. They're nearly in that category. Like, the Mercury are not better than the Sky. They are terrible. Regardless of how good Kahleah Copper is, they are terrible. And the Storm are looking exceptional right now, with Skylar Diggins-Smith getting better and better and better every single game she plays after missing a season for being on maternity leave. Before we get on, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for 6,000 subscribers. It is absolutely incredible, and like, we're on the road to 10k right now, I guess. But anyway, now let's get on to the video. So last night, obviously, that game had a little bit more going for it. Like, if you guys don't know, a couple of years back, or 2 years ago, something happened on the bench between Skylar Diggins-Smith and Taurasi. They got into a massive argument, and then basically after that, Taurasi and the Phoenix Mercury basically froze out Skylar Diggins-Smith. Then when she was on maternity leave, she wasn't even allowed to use the team's facilities. They paid her, but that was it. They wouldn't let her. She wasn't part of a team. They wouldn't even let her use the physio. They wouldn't let her use the weight room to try to get back in shape after she had her kid. They just froze her completely out of the team. And that was a kind of crazy thing. But now she went and joined the Seattle Storm. And this was the first time they played against each other. This was the revenge game. This was absolutely the revenge game. And it was a big game because Taurasi was playing. And Taurasi has now got Kahleah Copper on her team, who started off the year as one of the best players in the league. She's really cooled down, but still averaging over 20. But this was a big game because the Storm did not have Nneka Onwuemeka, who, between her and Jewel Lloyd, you can argue who is and who isn't the best player on that team. But she's a 1A, 1B with Jewel Lloyd. Nneka Onwuemeka could not play the game, especially because there's a chance that she would have matched up to Kahleah Copper. And it really was one of those games where you're like, okay, this is without Onwuemeka. Will the Seattle Storm blitz the Mercury? Well, yeah, they were up like nearly 20 in the first half. It was a blowout from the beginning. A 20-point win, with Skylar Diggins-Smith herself having 17 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, didn't shoot the best in the field, but at the same time, she was 8 of 9 from the free throw line and was plus 20 while on the floor. Diana Taurasi had 7 points, 5 rebounds, no assists, and was 3 of 12 from the field. She had a shooting game like Caitlin Clark without being guarded like Caitlin Clark. That is not a good game for Diana Taurasi. And as well as that, if you don't know how heated it got, they cheap shot at Skylar Diggins. They cheap shot at Skylar Diggins-Smith. And you want to know what the worst part about this is? You know the way Caitlin Clark gets cheap shotted and it gets called as a common foul? Like, Caitlin Clark gets cheap shotted and it gets called as a common foul. She got called for a defensive foul after the cheap shot. So, Skylar Diggins-Smith is playing defense. Kahleah Copper's running in a layup. I don't see where the foul is. Skylar Diggins-Smith goes straight up, hands up in the air. I'm watching it right now. Obviously, I can't show you guys. But she goes straight up, hands up in the air. There's actually no contact. Skylar Diggins-Smith does not make contact with Kahleah Copper. But while in the air, Kahleah Copper, while taking her layup, uses her offhand. And just like, and I'm not joking with this, she winds up at elbow and clocks her in the face. Like, Meta World Peace on James Harden type stuff. Like, genuinely busted her mouth open. The referees reviewed it and only called it technical foul. She literally winds up an elbow and gets her in the face. I'm like, first of all, chuck her from the game. Chuck her from the game. Kahleah Copper should have been chucked. That was so obviously intentional. Her arm starts here, in the air, winds it up and follows through. It is the most blatant dirty basketball play. She got cheap shotted, and the worst part about it is the refs gave the and one. The refs gave the and one. They gave the and one. Like, Skylar Diggins-Smith goes straight up, is moving away, doesn't make any contact, gets elbowed in the face, busts her mouth open, and gets a defensive foul called on her. And not only that, they called it as a technical foul. Not even an unsportsmanlike foul. Not even a flagrant foul for unnecessary contact. No, a technical foul. She elbowed her in the face, busted her mouth open, and the refs did not warrant it unnecessary contact. It is incompetence from the ref, and they are genuinely putting every single player in this league in danger. It is so bad watching. It is so bad watching. In the same night for Angel Reese's BS ejection, they will call that is the best call ever. It's like, they will call a phantom foul on the defensive player when nothing happens. But you could clothesline somebody and it's a common foul. Or you can elbow someone in the face and it's not an unsportsmanlike foul. You can bust someone's mouth open. Like, again, hit her in the mouth, bust it open. That is 2 inches higher, she busts her nose. And the fact is, like, considering this is a rivalry game, this is one of these games where there's, like, tension coming into it, this surely was intentional. Like, I'm not going to say it definitely was, because Kalia Copper was not on that team with Skylar Diggins-Smith. If it was Diana Taurasi, I would say 1,000,000% intentional. But it looks intentional. It really does. It really does. But, like, these referees are ruining this league. They're absolutely, and I mean it, they are ruining a league. They are ruining the sport of basketball, and it's bad. Like, you want to complain about NBA refs. Heck, as someone from Ireland, our refs are completely terrible. But this is another level. This is another level. These are the worst referees in the world. You will find a better referee reffing 12-year-olds than you will find in the WNBA. Because when it suits them, they're going to go to the letter of the law. And then the fact is that, again, it's another situation where they can make a wrong call and make it sound right. Like, the broadcast was talking about why letter of the law they had to call the defensive and one of Skylar Diggins. It's like, no, she didn't make any contact. It's not a foul in the first place. They were like, oh, letter of the law, we have to go and give the and one because, well, there was a defensive block before the technical foul. It's like, no, she literally only made the layup because she effectively hit someone with a flying elbow. Like, that's the only reason she was able to make the shot. Otherwise, Skylar Diggins, 1, might have been able to play better defense, and 2, if she was going to foul, she could have fouled properly if she wasn't getting elbowed in the face. Oh my god. It's just so bad. But as far as the rivalry goes, Skylar Diggins-Smith won. She won. She's on the better team. She's on one of the best teams in the league. This Seattle Storm. Because, obviously, Skylar Diggins-Smith started the season terribly. She was out for a year for maternity leave. Like, it can happen. I don't think she played in 20 months. But she's starting to look like herself again. And with her, again, Magbador, Jewel Lloyd, Neko Wumake, Vivians, who the Fever are still paying. Why did the Fever cut Vivians? She's so much better. Like, they literally signed Katie Lou and cut Vivians. Vivians is so much better. But either way, incompetence from the Fever doesn't matter here. She won. She's on the much better team, the significantly better team, and she's starting to play well. If the Seattle Storm are probably not going to win the title, but if they mess about and win, I wouldn't be that surprised. Again, if any of the Storm, Lynx, Liberty, or Sun, if any of them mess about and beat the Aces, I wouldn't be that surprised, but obviously it still is the Aces to lose.